Okay, hi everybody. Welcome to another installment of the Payoff Pitch. Once again, I'm your host, Paul Valley. Thanks for joining me again. A lot to talk about, so let's just get right into it. We're going to start with the starting pitching, as usual, because that's the biggest area of weakness and concern for the ball club. Starting pitching's actually been pretty good this week. Monday, Mike Wright went 5 innings, giving up just 1 run against the Boston Red Sox probable opening day lineup. He pitched very, very well, gave up 1 home run, but other than that, he was pretty dominant over 5 innings. Tuesday, Miguel Gonzalez faced the Atlanta Braves. He went 5 innings. He also only gave up 1 run, but he gave up 7 hits. We'll get more into that in a bit. There's a lot I want to talk about that, of course, because it's Miguel Gonzalez. Wednesday, Chris Tillman, 4 innings pitched, 1 earned run allowed against the Detroit Tigers. Everyday lineup. Not everyday lineup. They were playing in Sarasota, so they didn't bring their starters. My apologies. But Tillman looked good, which is something we were looking to see also. And then today, probably the best one of all, Yovani Gallardo went 5 innings, giving up just 1 hit. No walks, no runs, 2 strikeouts against the Atlanta Braves in the Orioles' last Grapefruit League tune-up before the regular season starts. Gallardo faced the minimum 15 batters. He retired 14 of the 15 batters. The lone hit he gave up, he immediately got a double play. Everybody was concerned, myself included, when he wasn't very good in his first 3 outings, but this one gives you confidence. It should give you confidence going into the regular season that he was just working on things, and when the time comes for him to produce, he's going to produce. He had a very, very good start today. Tyler Wilson followed him. He went 3 innings, gave up 1 run on 3 hits with 3 strikeouts. So that was something that we wanted to see too, because he's in the competition for one of the 5 spots in the rotation. So good for Tyler Wilson. He only used 3 pitchers today, winning it 6-1. So all-around good effort from the Orioles pitching staff against the Braves today. Getting back to Miguel Gonzalez, like I said, he went 5 innings. He only gave up the 1 run on Tuesday, but he did give up 7 hits, and he hit a batter. Of those 7 hits, 4 of them came with 2 strikes, which to me and probably the coaching staff shows that he doesn't really have an out pitch. I've always thought that Miguel got by with smoke and mirrors his first few years, and I think the league finally caught up to him last year. And I know that last year he had 2 different stints on the disabled list, but like we said last week, it's what have you done for me lately? And like I said, lately he hasn't been good. And apparently I'm not the only one who felt that way, because yesterday the Orioles released Miguel Gonzalez, which means he's not going to be in the organization. He's not going to come north of the club. He's not going to be on the club. He had, from when he got released yesterday, 48 hours to get picked up by another ball club, or he become a free agent. Apparently, the Chicago White Sox are showing the most interest in him, so I hope he catches on there and has himself a solid career. It wasn't going to happen here for him. You got to go north of the best 25 players that you can go north with, and he hasn't been one of the best 25 players for about a year. So, best of luck to you, Miguel. Sorry it couldn't work out, but, they got to move on, and you do too. Hopefully a fresh start will be better for you. Change of scenery, Kevin Gausman, going to start the year on the disabled list. Shoulder tendonitis, same thing that put him on the disabled list at the beginning of last year. Originally, the plan was for him to go on the DL and come back to make his originally scheduled start on April 10th. That's not going to happen. They're probably looking more at him making a start in the home game against the Blue Jays on April 19th. So until then, they need someone to replace him. And Buck Showalter announced today that Mike Wright is the number 4 starter in the rotation, so congratulations to Mike Wright. He hasn't commented on the 5th spot in the rotation. And it's going to come down to Vance Worley, who's going to start the game in Philadelphia tomorrow against the Phillies. It's going to be between him and Tyler Wilson. Tyler Wilson's already been informed he's made the ball club, so he's either going to be in the rotation or he's going to be in the bullpen. I personally think that the way he's pitched, he's earned that 5th spot in the rotation, at least until Gausman comes back. When Gausman comes back, he's probably the odd man out. I said last week that Worley probably won't be on the team. I'm going to have to amend that because Brian Mattis is also starting the year on the disabled list, so I think that Worley and Chaz Rowe both end up in the bullpen to start the season, with Gausman on the disabled list, Mattis on the disabled list, and Miguel Gonzalez, being given the boot. So the starting rotation, to me, we already know it's going to be Tillman on opening day, then Gallardo and Jimenez in that twin series. Then we know that Mike Wright's making the start in the fourth game of the season. It's going to go back to the top with Tillman again in Game 5, and then they'll probably get to that fifth starter on April 10th, which is, again, I think going to be Tyler Wilson. Like I said, he's earned it. So another big story coming out of camp this week. The big import, Hyun-Soo Kim, coming out of the Korean baseball organization, signed back on December 10th. The Orioles expected him, and the fans expected him to be the everyday left fielder on opening day. Well, he got off to an 0 for 23 start, and even though he went 8 for his next 21, wasn't really driving the ball, had no gap power, wasn't showing any power. All 8 of his hits were singles, soft singles to say the least. So Kim was informed, as the fans were, that he will not be on the 25-man opening day roster. Now, there's a problem there, because one of two things has to happen. He has to accept an option down to the minor leagues, or the Orioles have to release him and pay him the full $7 million. He doesn't have to do anything. He can say, I'm not going to the minors. If I'm not on your team, you release me and pay me my money. The Orioles really don't want to do that, and who can blame them, because they'd be on the hook for $7 million for a guy who's not even going to play an inning on the team. So apparently they've had a few conversations, I think 2 or 3 conversations with him. From what Ken Rosenthal has said on Twitter, it seems like he's resisting the assignment. Fingers crossed that he's going to accept it, go down to the minors, hone his skills, start to be able to face Major League pitching so he can get back up here and help the team come the summertime. So we're going to wait and see approach with that. Until then, the guy who I've been lauding for the last 2 weeks, been talking a lot about beating a dead horse, Joey Rickard. Led the Grapefruit League in batting average at .387 this spring. Had an on-base percentage well above 400. He made the team. He made the 25-man roster as expected. And not just that, 2 nights ago on the Madison broadcast, Dan Duquette was in the booth, and he said that Rickard's going to get the opportunity to be the everyday left fielder. So you should see him in the starting lineup on opening day. Buxton give him every chance in the world to grab onto that job and hold on to it for dear life. There's going to be some growing pains, guys. This is a guy who has no Major League at-bats. He went from single A to double A to triple A last year. His numbers improved at every level. Had his lowest batting average was at single A, where he hit .280, but his on-base percentage kept climbing. His average kept climbing at each individual level from single A to double A to triple A. So it kind of gives you hope that, that's going to continue once he hits the major league starting on Monday. If not, don't worry about it. Nick Markakis started his career slow, too, and ended up hitting .291 with 16 home runs his rookie year. So, not saying that that's what Rickard's going to do, but the guy's certainly earned the position, so all the congratulations in the world to Joey Rickard. Really proud of the guy. He was given a task to do, being a Rule 5 pick, and he did it. So, congratulations. Other news. There's a potential trade in the works for James Shields. Now, this is all rumors, of course. We know the Orioles have kicked the tires on him. I don't know that comes to fruition at all. It's getting pretty late in the spring. They have to have the 25-man roster set by noon on Sunday. So, not that would have anything to do with a trade. They can make a trade whenever they want and bring a guy in. Couple of good things about James Shields. Since 2007, he's made 31 or more starts for 9 consecutive seasons, pitched over 200 innings for 9 consecutive seasons. He's led the league in complete games twice. He's led the league in shutouts twice. A couple of bad things. This past year, he posted his highest ERA, even though it was only .391. Still better than anybody on the Orioles rotation, aside from Wei Yin-Chen, who's no longer here. So .391, he posted his highest ERA, and he posted his highest WHIP at 1.3, 1.32, I think. Those were both his highest since 2010. He also led the National League in home runs allowed this past season, with 33. Second time he's led the league in home runs allowed. So, much like the Orioles, you get the good with the bad. Is this trade going to happen? I don't know. the Orioles are gonna have to give up probably Christian Walker and one of the two, either Tyler Wilson or Mike Wright, to make this deal happen. I think they hold a lot of stock in both of those guys. So they may not want to make a trade because they're both 26 years old and James Shields is 34. But James Shields is better than any pitcher that's in our rotation right now. So, do I think the trade will happen? Maybe. I have no idea, to be perfectly honest with you. Nobody does. I wouldn't be surprised if it happens. I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't happen. So, wait and see. If it does happen, I can tell you we'll be right back here with another episode on the Payoff Pitch, talking about James Shields and, what he brings to the ball club. But until then, we'll just, like I said, we're in that wait and see approach. So, I didn't get any questions from anybody this week. That's all right. God knows I can talk about the Orioles till I'm blue in the face. Trying to keep this show as short as possible. So, thanks for tuning in. Opening day right around the corner. Next show, I'm probably going to be talking about the 25-man roster and who's on it, who I thought should have been on it, because my prediction isn't usually right in line with what happens. But probably going to do a show on Sunday, so stay tuned for that. And until then, go O's. Thanks for watching.